feel like everyone likes theme parks, everyone likes roller coasters, but there's people who view it as more than just like rides. They view it as like a craft that they want to appreciate and talk about. My name is Vinny.
Yeah, I'm Joel.
I'm Amber.
My name's Ben Davison.
And my name is Cal. I'm from South London.
I'm from California.
I'm from Nottingham, from here in the UK.
I am from Kent in the UK.
And I like roller coasters.
I have been going to like theme parks, amusement parks, stuff like that all my life.
And when I was about 7, my parents took me to Alton Towers for the first time, and I just started going there every year.
I came to Towers a lot, like when I was younger, and I just really liked riding rides.
It just kind of turned into this whole thing that encapsulates my life in a sense now. I just didn't really have an outlet to talk about or discuss it really. When I started using Reddit and I found there was a whole subreddit for this whole roller coaster theme park thing, I was like, oh, I could talk to these people about it.
And at the very beginning of 2017, somebody made a post on r/rollercoasters saying, I made a Discord server.
I was browsing on the roller coasters subreddit. I just scrolled down the side and it said Discord server, join here.
He was like, hey, get on the Discord. It was this new thing, I've never even heard of Discord.
And I was like, oh, right, okay. And I just started using Discord to talk to other online friends around that time. So I just thought, oh, okay, I'll join that.
He was like, hey, get on it. And I was like, all right, sure, fine, whatever, I'll check it out.
And I joined it.
I think we actually joined on the same day as
I think
well.
you were like one day before.
I just kind of started talking to people. And at first I was like, all right, yeah, this is like the subreddit, it's like the comments, but it's an easier way to converse.
And at the time, the subreddit Discord was fairly quiet.
One day I was bored and I joined voice chat.
And I just clicked and joined, and it was 2 Americans. And I was like, oh, okay, Americans, I like talking to Americans. I just started chatting.
It was like my first exposure to like people from another continent. And all these people were like really cool and like people I could like actually get along with and look up to and actually be friends with.
At first it was awkward, but eventually turned into like a whole thing, like, oh, these are people, like I started to know these people. And I just wanted to hang out with them in a sense. Even though it was online, I still felt like I was hanging out with friends, socializing. So I like wanted to take initiative. I wanted to like set up like game nights and stuff.
What's the plan if it hunts?
I'm just gonna go hide. Oh.
There you go.
Those evenings where like Matthew, Adam and James are all just on the same wavelength and they're just creating absolute chaos in every single like voice call, every single voice channel and bouncing off each other, and everyone just sits there in like absolute hysterics for like hours on end.
Alright, let's do Gordie. Code red and that Vinny's coming for you.
Oh, I know where this is going.
You really just learned to kind of talk about like more than just rides, and that's really what made us more just friends instead of just kind of coaster people online. Eventually it became this like whole community that I can't even like describe.
The first big meetup was between me, Harry and Zach at Blackpool.
Today, we have 2 special guests, Joel and Zach.
And that was like that was big at the time. I remember like for everyone in the server, not just me, Harry and Zach, it was big because it was the first meetup of like 3 enthusiasts who'd met online.
Every now and then I'm asked, what was the best day of your life? I still say the first day of the Cedar Point meetup because that was the first real time I actually met all of the group, or at least a big chunk of it, a lot of the main people.
So my voice is destroyed right now. So whenever I try to go a little high, it just doesn't.
That first Cedar Point meetup was like a huge deal for me. I'm pretty sure it was a huge deal for everybody.
And that day, just being there with everyone, just everyone's energy, everyone was so positive, everyone was so excited to see each other, and it was just so magical that I don't know if anything could ever replicate that.
It was like the best payoff for like everything I could have dreamed of.
Naruto run, go!
Listen to it. Towers? The weather is amazing today.
I'm actually speechless.
They got stuck.
They're stuck.
You know, I just started, rather than, you know, walking out with my phone out and talking about everything that we do in a day, it was more of a just sort of, if we see something funny or something funny occurs, I just take my phone out and point at it and just make a dumb joke or something like that.
I'm vlogging Jamie, vlogging Coaster Kart. Hello, Jamie.
Hello, Joe.
And it was always very short and fast-paced.
That was good. That was great. That was good, and I can't decide whether I prefer it to Spinball or not. Wow, that's a long wait.
A group of us were on the Isle of Wight. There was this tiny, tiny little kids roller coaster, basically, and it didn't make it up one of the lifts, and it rolled back, and we got stuck on it for about 8 minutes, and it was really funny.
Oh.
We're quite privileged in the UK because the UK's small and it's very easy for us to all get to each other. Nowadays, rather than planning these big meetups, we can just say, oh, do you want to come over for the weekend, or do you want to go to the pub? Something like that. We can just meet up.
We go to Thorpe Park like all the time, so it's a lot less meaningful. Like when we have a meetup, it's very casual. People just kind of show up and that's that.
Like we can do a day trip to London, or there's a lot of people around Manchester, so like 6 of them can go into Manchester for the evening, like after college or after work or whatever. Whereas I feel like with the American friend group, it's like, I mean, America's the size of Europe.
East Coast was, in one phrase, a lot. It started in, I think, Pittsburgh, eventually made its way to the Northeast, all the way down to Atlanta, and then back up.
It's exhausting and we all have to rely on each other, and it's like we're all holding each other together. Like, being on the West Coast, it was like all isolated like that. It was like I was driving from San Francisco to Cleveland basically and back. It was frustrating, but I always felt like I was like spending my like one trip every year and a half or whatever on like something that's worth it. And with the British, to me, it feels like I've always been a kind of detached. Not really detached, but I'm not like really on the in with all the British people. They've ridden all the European coasters and I've ridden all the American coasters, but we haven't gone across the Atlantic ever. It's been really trippy to like know these people really well for like so long, like 5+ years, and like we've never met any of them on like a large scale before. Until now.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
These two are American. We're gonna be on the back row. Oh my god.
I'm just gonna do like a circle round.
Oh.
That was like really good. That was the best ride so far.
What? What?
They're up there.
At one point, I was like literally standing up.
For so many people, this is their friend group. This is their social life. This is like almost like their life in a way. Like, without the Discord, so many of us would be disconnected from people we call like our best friends.
It's really special when you can share a hobby like that, and I don't know, share something really niche that everybody's really passionate about.
Currently, I'm in the middle of a hurricane in Florida on this trip that has been in the works for a long time.
Be light.
And yet, the funniest thing happened. We are still having fun. We are getting together. We are playing board games. We are hanging out. And you know something? I could not think of a better group of idiots to be stuck in the middle of a storm in while every theme park we came here for is closed. There's been this stigma about meeting people online, talking to people online, and it's lingered because the internet is still relatively young. But our friend group, I feel, is a good example of the fact that just because you're talking to strangers online doesn't mean they all want to kill you or whatever. Sometimes there's people online who are just bored and want to talk about roller coasters or whatnot.
Wow.
And that just makes it just more human, more real.